Let's start there, pushing out and pressing towards mid. So right now, Devin is stabilizing with that lower body. He's opening up those hips. He's getting those glutes to fire. He's working on that thoracic rotation. Now do me a favor, drop that knee all the way to the ground. This is gonna be a little bit of an easier variation now. So for those of you out there struggling to get in that split stance position, don't worry. We're gonna start here. We're gonna develop all this leg strength, this lower body strength through these other drills that we're doing, and then we're gonna eventually progress into that one.
Physical fitness, such a huge aspect of making 2023 your longest year ever. Had such a fun time working with Don, working with Paige McKenzie in the swing gym, and being more mobile and just being a little bit stronger and more confident in yourself can make it a lot easier to create club head speed, and obviously that's gonna correlate to more distance. So get fit, get mobile, get functional, watch the swing gym. Now, I want to talk about the swing itself and a great move and a great drill from a good friend of mine, Lucas Waltz. So good at getting people to create more club head speed. Let's take a look at his video and his drill.
Everyone wants more speed, more power. It's in vogue right now to lift the lead hill. We see Justin Thomas doing it and gaining 5 miles per hour. We see a 60-year-old BJ Singh way past parallel to get more distance. But there's a timing to the sequencing of these moves. So a great and simple exercise is to leave your head cover on your driver, set up, okay, and practice ripping it back to lead arm parallel using your arms, using your core. So watch that again. So rip this back. Notice when I do this, the lower body hasn't engaged yet, okay? So after doing it a few times, pause, then engage the lower body, going all the way back. Look at my left knee behind the ball, full hip turn, full shoulder turn. The problem I see, many of you guys are doing this way too early, okay, and going left heel up, okay, and turning and loading the tissues, which creates a lot of problems in transition and impact.
Love that drill from Lucas. I have a slight variation that kind of does the same thing. So I hope you all have a head cover for your driver. I want you just to slide it on lightly. So it's not all the way in there, it's just a little bit in. And what I want you to do from there is take your setup, and your goal here is to rip it off in the backswing. You're really gonna use a little pressure shift, a lot of upper body, and try to get those arms going quickly with that upper body. So I'm gonna take my setup, I'm trying to whip this back and fling this head cover off the driver. So you can see it just flung off right there. Great width, great speed, and from here, we can create a bigger turn. So kind of getting that feeling of a later turn with the lower body. Pressure's there early, upper body's going, arms are going fast, and then you're getting that late turn. We see this a lot with Rory, you see it with Couple. So a lot of players that hit it a long ways sequence their backswing that way. Thank you, Lucas, that helped a lot. And now we talked about the body, let's now talk about the arms and hands. So what I want you to do is I want you to take an alignment stick, take a split grip, okay? Here's what we're gonna do. Take your normal setup, then take a split grip, and we're just gonna pump down. Here's the idea. We wanna get our arms to move down as fast as possible, but then also stop quickly. The stopping of the arms is gonna transfer that speed to the club. So I'm gonna have you take your setup, split grip, we're gonna go back, and then we're gonna try to get the end of the alignment stick to bounce and whip as much as possible. That shows that I created a lot of speed, but then I also stopped, which made it whip. So we're gonna do that 3 times. Set up, split grip, 1, 2, 3. Now if I feel that, and I make a full swing, you can hear a loud swoosh, a loud noise here. My arms were fast, they slowed down, and the club went through. I'm gonna now grab my driver, do the same thing. Can't wait to do this. And we're on a drivable par 4. Why not try to drive the green? Hole-in-ones on par 4s are always fun, so let's see what we can do here. I'm gonna take my setup. I wanna make sure I get that backswing going, channel my inner Lucas Wall, get that pressure over there early, fling that club head back, and then get those arms and hands to fire at the right time. So good setup, get that thing going back, fling that head cover off, and then accelerate those arms and hands. God, absolutely smashed. That might be my best one yet. Lucas, how much do I owe you for that? That was beautiful. Exactly what we're looking for. That's what I want you to feel. Rip the club head off, get those arms and hands to fire. You're gonna get a lot more distance with a lot less effort. And now, for even more club head speed, it's time for Let's Talk Shop. Even if we're swinging the same club head speed, we can gain a ton of yardage by optimizing our ball speed, our launch angle, our spin rate, and a lot of that has to do with the driver that you have and where you hit it. So let's talk about some ideas. So when I'm looking at this driver, a couple things that I want to take into account. Hitting it on the low heel is an absolute killer for distance. It's going to raise the spin rate and lower the launch angle. Conversely, if you're hitting it center to even slightly high toe, a lot more high launch, a lot less spin. And then if you combine that with having the correct attack angle, that's huge. And what I mean by that is if you're hitting a golf ball, if you're attacking it at 5 degrees down at 100 miles an hour versus 5 degrees up at 100 miles an hour, that can be up to 30 yards in extra distance at the same speed. So you're not changing anything with your club head speed. You might not feel like you're changing a whole lot with your swing, but it is gonna drastically change the distance. So here's what I want us to do. A great kind of couple drill. I want you to get some foot spray, get face tape, get something to indicate and show you where you hit it on the face. So I'm gonna spray the face here. Let it dry for a second. And then what we're also gonna do is we're gonna have an idea or a feel for how we're gonna hit up on the ball. So those of you that come down on the ball tend to have the club coming in very steep and then hitting down and then almost like you'd hit this forward ball. So I want you to put another ball about a foot in front of the ball you're hitting. And then what I want you to do is take your setup. Ball's gonna be off the inside of the lead foot. That's gonna make it a little bit easier to hit up on it. We're gonna get a little bit of a tilt. So you're gonna push your belt buckle forward, right shoulder down slightly. And then all we're gonna do here is we're gonna mimic at setup where we wanna bottom out. So we're gonna take our setup and you're gonna put the club about a foot behind the ball on the ground. This is gonna be in our mind, the lowest point of the swing. So we're gonna swing back. We're gonna try to come down, not obviously actually hitting the ground, and then come up into the ball from there. So it's gonna be set up, go up here, back, up into the ball. Let's give it a shot. Good setup, good tilts, club about a foot behind, go ahead and rip it. Hit way up on that, I could just feel it. I can't wait to check out where I hit it on the face. It's almost like a surprise. Pretty dang happy with that. If you look close, you can see it's pretty much right where I said, center to just ever so slightly high toe. So that's pretty much the perfect launch conditions, exactly what we're looking for. So understanding how the launch angle, the spin rate, the ball speed all affect your total distance relative to your club head speed is so important. Make sure you get fit. I love my Stealth 2 TaylorMade driver because I was fit so well. It's gonna give me the best bang for my buck.